Dr. Ocholo, who is the president and chairman of council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, and he used the final official get-together of all members late last week to talk about the medium-term strategy for this very high-profile professional body. He also spoke about ethics and what cooperation has been put together with the Bankers Committee. Let's take a listen to a few minutes of Dr. Ocholo, the president of the CIBN.
We will continue to foster ethical conduct in the banking industry in furtherance of the fact that bankers have a fiduciary responsibility and duty to protect the integrity and reputation of the banking industry. So on the right, continuing public trust and confidence in the financial system. To ensure this, we will continue to work with the subcommittee on competency and industry standards of the Bankers Committee to make the ethics compliance certificate a reality in the first quarter of next year. Permit me to single out the great effort of the chairman of that subcommittee, Akin Daudu, the chief executive of Citibank. Great job. This is in consistency with our belief that a high standard of professionalism with strong ethical values and integrity is the prerequisite for the creation of new generations of bankers. Also, want to continue to emphasize, remind you of the lines in our CIBN anthem, which emphasizes upholding ethics and professionalism. It is very important. I remember I was an intern those days in United Bank of Africa. You need to know when they call you a banker, you are a man of ethical conduct. We want to restore those past glory. On capacity building, by investing substantially in equipping our members with the required skill sets and knowledge needed to compete, think, and innovate. Specifically, we have embarked on the following review of ACIB's syllabus, the flagship qualification. We are currently developing content for the new structure of the syllabus of banking professional examinations, which our governing council approved in September 2018. The syllabus has been aligned to the needs of the banking industry in order to better meet the expectations of more discerning customers and the marketplace. To arrive at the structure, a practice analysis survey was conducted to ascertain the skill sets the employers of labor expect the chartered banker to possess. The new syllabus will be in operation in April 2020. The emerging trend today is commoditization of competencies. We have designed strategies for upskilling and reskilling of our members through the review of existing certification programs targeted at sectoral competencies. We have signed strategic partnerships with top-tier institutions all over the world. I mean top-tier institutions, because we believe that we should upskill the competencies of our members on ethics and governance, on enterprise risk management, and then the latest buzz, fintech, and the application of blockchain technology in the financial services and other varied uses. In the same vein, we are building community of practice across key operations of banking to allow members to interact among themselves with subject experts on trends, on emerging trends in any of the subject area. We're talking about, we talked about trades, financial markets, talent management strategy, fintech, and value chain financing. We are going to have community of practice where we draw from the well and pool of our members to making sure that our members are well equipped. On advocacy, we have continued our role as the conscience of the industry by paying more attention to constructive stakeholders' engagement for the benefit of our corporate and individual members. Permit me here to say that we are looking at the issue of local trade. Especially, we do letters of credit for international trade. We want to do local trade LCs, because that will have obviated the problem banks encountered in funding NMPC transactions, where the customers lifted without the knowledge of the funding banks. So we want to stop that, because we know that that will continue to push with central bank, with Ministry of Finance, with NMPC to ensure that local LCs are used in local trade. It will throw confidence in our payment obligation. In view of this, we have also organized through our USA branch a conference with the team Investing at Home, imploring Nigeria in diaspora, Atlanta, to encourage Nigerians to invest more in the country's economy for the good of the greater number of our populace. Also, our governing council recently introduced a quarterly discussion to examine pertinent issues affecting the banking industry and come up with the institute's position for the benefit of the various stakeholders. And we are also looking at the first quarter next year on diversity and inclusion, SDG number 5. I was just discussing with the Deputy Governor on Financial Stability. That is the area. SDG number 5. CIBN is in the forefront of pursuing that in the banking industry.
The President and Chairman of Council of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Dr. Uche Olowu. And of course, just talking about the CIBN and the strategy and all of that. But again, let's say I take you back very quickly to the story, with the interview we just talked about the commodities market and how you can talk about the egusi and commodities production. This is from one of our viewers in London. Ipemosa is on Twitter, and he's just sending this through that there's a compelling case just made for egusi production. It says, because a little wrap of dried egusi is £2.99 in London. And if you want to have a plate of egusi and a wrap of pounded yam, that costs you £10 minimum. Just try to do, how much does that cost you in Naira? That's 4,700 Naira if you're having a plate of egusi and pounded yam in the city of London. Just try it out next time you're there. You appreciate what you're taking for granted here at home. Okay, so that's it. And every other thing that goes with egusi is just for the high price if you take that overseas. So that makes a compelling reason market case for $1.1 billion melon seed business in Africa and around the world. What's the other stories we're following for you? This time, the Nigerian Stock Exchange has the 2018 edition of the Exchange Traded Fund set for tomorrow to bring everyone up to speed about the derivatives market. That will be 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't forget.